Desperate to staunch the bloodletting around Pokrovsk in eastern Ukraine's Donetsk Oblast, the Kremlin rushed in reinforcements. According to Euromaidan Press media outlet, those reinforcements, the best of Russia's available naval infantry and airborne forces, are already suffering heavy casualties in a sector they clearly do not understand. Attacking in armored vehicles along the drone-patrolled roads just east of Pokrovsk, the Russian 155th Naval Infantry Brigade was immediately spotted from the air by the Ukrainian State Security Service's Ivan Franko Group. The Ivan Franko Group attacked with its own explosive first-person view drones and also called in rockets from nearby high-mobility artillery rocket systems. The combined firepower inflicted devastating losses on the enemy's assault armored group, which ultimately could not reach the forward positions of the 79th Air Assault Brigade and was completely defeated, the Ivan Franko Group reported. The group counted 5 destroyed vehicles and 2 abandoned ones. The enemy's manpower losses as a result of the complex strike of FPV and HIMARS amounted to 50 to 100 men, the group claimed. See the official video below. It was a swift and bloody setback for Russia's best effort to shift the battlefield momentum around Pokrovsk back in its own favor. For more than a year now, a Russian force with at least 8 corps and field armies, together overseeing dozens of regiments and brigades, each with potentially thousands of troops, has been trying and mostly failing to capture a chain of Ukrainian cities stretching from Pokrovsk to Sloviansk in the eastern Ukraine Donetsk Oblast. Euromaidan Press says the Russian 51st Combined Arms Army came close to closing a pincer around Pokrovsk and cutting off one of its 2 main supply routes in early August, when its 132nd Motor Rifle Brigade slipped thousands of troops past undermanned Ukrainian trenches northeast of Pokrovsk. They marched 15 kilometers toward the village of Dobropilya, which sits astride the T0515 road, Pokrovsk's easternmost main supply route. But the Russians underestimated the strength of the Ukrainians' reserves. Ukrainian commanders had made the deliberate decision to leave some trenches empty in order to buy time for certain brigades to rebuild. It was a sacrifice. American analyst Andrew Perpetua explained, sacrifice ground for time while refitting, and then you can attack later. According to Euromaidan Press, a dozen or so Ukrainian brigades, regiments and battalions, some fighting under the command of the National Guard's new 1st Azov Corps, assaulted the Dobropilya salient from both sides with drones, tanks, armed ground vehicles and infantry, and quickly destroyed the Russian 132nd Motor Rifle Brigade, likely inflicting thousands of casualties.
Ukrainian aerial reconnaissance units continue to target the dugouts and trenches where Russian occupation troops are stationed. Although the occupiers tried to hide in the dugouts from drones, this did not save them. Strikes by kamikaze drones and munitions dropped from drones caused the dugouts to explode, resulting in the complete elimination of the occupiers inside. Videos of the operation of fighters of the 93rd Brigade of the Ukrainian Armed Forces to liberate the villages of Gruzkoy and Veseloy near the city of Dobropoli in Donetsk region have been released. As can be seen from the footage released on Telegram channels, tanks and kamikaze drones were mainly used in the clearance operation. The armored combat vehicles and personnel of the occupying army, including soldiers on motorcycles, were destroyed by drone strikes. The houses where Russian soldiers were hiding were destroyed by tank fire from close range. Both villages, liberated in August, are located in the area where the Russian army organized the main offensives. By capturing the village, the invaders were trying to block the logistics routes of Ukrainian troops in the Donetsk region. Ukraine's 425th Regiment has liberated the village of Novoekonomikne in Donetsk Oblast and raised the national flag, the General Staff announced. Novoekonomikne, with a pre-war population of nearly 2,800 people, is located about 14 kilometers northwest of the embattled city of Pokrovsk. Ukrainian assault groups spent 2 weeks fighting to liberate the settlement, raising the national flag in the village center on August 31, according to the General Staff. Since mid-July, the village has appeared in the gray zone on maps published by the Deep State Monitoring Group, indicating ongoing fighting. As of August 31, despite the General Staff's statement, Novoekonomikne remained in the gray zone. Earlier, Ukrainian forces regained control of the village of Novomykhailivka in Donetsk Oblast on August 24. Russia has continued to intensify its ground offensives in eastern Ukraine, concentrating the bulk of its forces in the Pokrovsk sector in an effort to seize the key logistics hub. With no ceasefire in sight, Russia's advances in the region help strengthen Moscow's hand in possible peace negotiations as U.S. President Donald Trump pushes for a deal to end the war. The Kremlin's plan for a peace agreement reportedly involves Ukraine withdrawing all its forces from Donetsk Oblast, ceding the entire region to Russia in exchange for frozen battle lines on the other sectors of the front. The Deep State Project reported that in August, the rate of occupation of Ukrainian territories by Russians fell by 18%. It is noted that last month, Russia captured 464 square km, and now 19% of the territory of Ukraine is under occupation. The project draws attention to the fact that the occupiers had the same percentage on October 3, 2022, before the Defense Forces offensive on Dudchany.